Has the UK far-right co-opted Christianity? You've probably seen some starkly Islamophobic content coming from the far-right Unite the Kingdom march on Saturday. There were people mocking the niqab, performers draped in bacon, and racial abuse directed at Muslim police officers. But what you may not have noticed is the strong Christian symbolism woven throughout the march. Religious imagery and rhetoric being exploited by the far right to frame a civilization battle between Christian Britain and Islam. I spoke to Dr. Maria Power from the University of Oxford, who explained this phenomenon.
Christian symbolism to them is an indication of what they believe true Britishness to be, i.e. powerful, mighty, and has control over other religions. They just immediately believe the rhetoric because the rhetoric speaks to the existential threat that they are feeling. Now, they're feeling the threat because of the economy. They're not feeling the threat because of a minority group in this country who themselves are experiencing the same problems.
Dr. Power made clear that the Christianity invoked isn't particularly theological or sincere. It's used more so as a cultural identity marker, often employing Crusader imagery to cement the us v them rhetoric against Muslims. And while co-opting Christianity by the far right isn't new, social media has amplified it dramatically, allowing these ideas to spread far beyond fringe movements. So who are the key figures pushing this? They seem to fall into two camps. Firstly, the far-right influencers who have recently embraced Christianity. Figures like Tommy Robinson and Danny Tomo, who historically weren't associated with the religion. The former reportedly found Christ while in prison on contempt of court charges. And then there's the outsider clergymen that have turned into the far-right, namely Bishop Dewar, who rejects, or perhaps was rejected by, the Church of England, as well as Ricky Doolan.
Britain is not a multi-faith country.
Who was the subject of this infamous performance on Saturday. I also spoke to Hope Not Hate researcher Alex McKinnon, who told me that the far-right construction of Islam is that Muslims are flattened into one generic, homogeneous group, and that's where they derive their power. They portray Muslims as one single unified political bloc and want to form an equivalent Christian political identity for themselves. What was once framed simply as anti-Muslim politics has expanded into something broader: anti-migrant, anti-woke, anti-LGBTQ rights, and even anti-surveillance narratives, all tied together under the language of defending Christian Britain. Because Christianity in this movement has become a powerful political weapon to be exploited for mass mobilisation.